The Faraway Tree Adventure and the Land of Do As You Please. Chapter 4. Joe the Train Driver. Joe jumped up into the engine of the train. A bright fire was burning there, as it was a steam train. He looked at all the shining handles and wheels. "How shall I know which is which?" he asked the driver. "Well," said the driver, pointing to the different knobs and handles, "that's the starting wheel, and that's to make the whistle go, and that's to go slow, and that's to go fast. You can't make a mistake. Don't forget to stop at the stations, will you? And oh, look out for the road crossing gates, in case they are shut. It would be dangerous not to take care there." Joe felt tremendously excited. Rick looked up longingly. "Joe, could I come too?" he begged. "Please let me, just to watch you." "All right," said Joe. So Rick hopped up the engine. Beth, Fanny, Moonface and Silky got into a carriage just behind. The guard ran along waving a flag and blowing his whistle. "The signal's down," yelled Rick. "Go on, Joe, start her up." Joe twisted the starting wheel. The engine began to chuff, 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 and moved out of the station. "Joe's really driving the train," cried Beth. "Oh, isn't he clever? He always wanted to drive an engine." The engine began to go very fast. Too fast. Joe pulled the go slow handle, and it went more slowly. He was so interested in what he was doing that he didn't notice that they were coming to a station. He shot right through it. "Joe," cried Rick, "you've gone through a station." Gosh, the passengers waiting there did look cross. And oh look, a lot of them in our train wanted to get out there. Sure enough, quite a number of angry people were looking out of the carriage windows, yelling to Joe to stop. Joe went red. He pulled the stop handle and the engine stopped. Then Joe pulled the go backwards handle and the train moved slowly backwards to the station. It stopped there, and Joe and Rick had the pleasure of seeing the passengers get out and in. The guard came rushing up. "You passed the station! You passed the station!" he cried. "Don't you dare to pass any station again without stopping." All right, said Joe. "Now then, off we go again." And off they went. "Keep a lookout for stations, signals, tunnels, and road crossing, Rick," said Joe. So Rick stuck his head out and watched. "Road crossing!" he cried. "The gates are shut." "Slow down, Joe, slow down." But unluckily, Joe pulled the go fast handle instead of the go slow, and the train shot forward quickly. Just as the engine reached the gates, Joe pulled on the brakes. A little man rushed out of the cabin nearby just as the train came to a halt. "You bad driver," he shouted. "You might have caused an accident." "That was a narrow escape," said Joe. When the road crossing gates were open, Joe started off again. "What's coming now, Rick?" Joe asked. "A tunnel," said Rick. "Whistle as you go through, in case anyone is working in it." So Joe made the engine whistle loudly. Choo-choo! It was really fun. It raced through the dark tunnel and came out near a station. "Stop! Station, Joe!" cried Rick, and Joe stopped. Then on went the train again, whistling loudly, rushing past signals that were down. Then something happened. The go slow and the stop handles wouldn't work. The train raced on and on past stations, big and small, through tunnels and past signals that were up. It behaved just as if it had gone mad. "Hey," said Rick in alarm. "What's gone wrong, Joe?" Joe didn't know. For miles and miles the train tore on, and all the passengers became alarmed. Then, just as the train drew near a station, it gave a loud sigh, ran slowly, and then stopped, all by itself. And it was the very same station it had started from.